What's going on, people? It's Josh, your host for Footy Fanatics. We have a debut in the house today, a Chelsea fan here with us. And what timing to be a Chelsea fan and come on this show, because we've had VJ come on all 6 episodes and he's taken L's and draws every single week. But today we've got D in the house, Dharmz, who's going to give us his view on Chelsea and the rest of the results of the weekend so far. It is Saturday, 5:30, so obviously there's a few more results to go. We've got the big one tomorrow with Liverpool versus Man United. Tottenham have lost. Arsenal have done a Man City in the last seconds of the dying minutes in their game in the 97th minute. They've pulled out a W. They were 2-0 down at halftime. So big up Arsenal for coming back and showing championship material and mindset and mentality. And this is what it's about when you want to win a title. You've got to come back from those 2-0s. Man City have shown it over the years, especially with that Aguero moment. And even last season against Villa at home, Man City showed what they're made of. Arsenal doing the same, not letting it slip. The title race is still hot and on, and Arsenal fans will be leaving tonight. Moving on to the white side of North London, I am devastated. That first half was brilliant from Tottenham, but Tottenham half spurt, as I keep calling them, because they deliver in halves only. We don't do anything over 95 minutes. Generally, we can't keep the intensity and consistency up. We have had a few wins recently, but we went back on the road and we lost again. We're at the FA Cup. We've dropped points in this top 4 race. We've got AC Milan on Wednesday, and that could be a devastation as well. And it could be our season over within 7 days. That's how it goes in the Premier League. It's tough. Conte's still in Italy. So we'll get a little bit into that as well. But mainly we're here to discuss the Chelsea result, that Chelsea win at home, Stamford Bridge in front of the fans. Chelsea needed that. Potter needed that. The whole blue side of London will be jumping up and down tonight. They've got to win and they'll be hoping this spurs them on. Let's quickly look at the Premier League table and then we'll bring in our debut Chelsea fan to get his views. And I'm going to try and share this for you guys whilst I'm talking. There we go. Right. So this is the table at the moment. And we can see that Chelsea, well, I've skipped you out a little bit there, mate. I should move it up there, scroll it up. There you go. Right,
Didn't need to do me dirty like that, man.
Yeah, nah, do you know, I'm not going to lie, man. You know what I mean? I thought I'd just, just for debut and that, just make it difficult for you a bit. But now Chelsea are there at the bottom there, number 10, just creeping in there behind Brentford, looking at the top 6 now, looking with a bit of positivity. D, first of all, welcome to the show. And lovely to have you on, my friend. I think we got in touch over Instagram, and then from there we took it to this. So anyone who's watching who wants to give their opinions, you got strong views, you got good knowledge on your team, you support your club, win, lose or draw. We want you on this channel. We want them hardcore fans to come on here and give us their views. And D's done exactly that. But first of all, bruv, welcome to the show. And I can see you there, smiling in the back end when we were talking, man. It's good to have a smile on the Chelsea fans' face for once, man. It's been a long time.
Mate, I'll tell you what, but big up firstly for having me on, Josh. I really appreciate you having me on. Sub to the channel as well. Drop a like to the channel as well. But I think the most reason why I was smiling is because I think Tottenham lost mostly. But
he's digging already, man. I love it.
Man. But then again, just based on the performance today, I wouldn't say I'm happy overall, but at the same time, it's just good to win and good to score a goal, to be honest. And yeah, if we're going through sort of the game generally, do you want me to go through the game now? Or?
Well, what I was going to say is, did you watch the game live? Did you?
I watched it all live, bro. Yeah.
Okay, watched it live. Yeah. Let me know about the dodgy fire stick. Yeah, let me know, mate. I need one wherever you watch that. But no. I mean, obviously, it wasn't on Sky or BT. But I'm glad you got to watch it, mate. Made time for that and got online and watched it. I watched the Tottenham game as well, the same way. But let's talk about the performance. Yeah, let's get into that. So I'm gonna bring up the team for you, D, and then you can talk us through your views on the lineup, mate. I would love to know your views on the lineup. So did Potter get it right, do you think?
I think during the game, tactically, I thought he got some bits wrong in the midfield, especially where we were a bit too passive and a bit too open on transition, as we've seen with a normal Chelsea team, apart from when sort of Jorginho was in the team. And I've been saying on different spaces and different sort of streams that it was a mistake selling Jorginho when we brought in Enzo Fernandez. But at the same time, you can also look at it as a positive of the fact that with his contract running down, we actually managed to get 12 million for him with 5 months left on his contract. So there's that. But I thought in the midfield, we were a bit too open, which we always are. And I think if Leeds had better forwards, I think they definitely would have scored a goal, because after sort of 15 minutes, I thought we weren't good at all in the first half. And for those 50 minutes, we were like electric. We were quick on the ball, making quick passes. We
Yep.
utilized the width as well. When with the formation that you got up on the screen, we obviously went for like a 3-4-3, and then out of possession as well. We reverted to four at the back with Fofana sort of dropping as like a right back at times, which I
Hmm.
found quite interesting. And like, I think a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, were calling for a back three because with
Mm.
sort of what Graham Potter's sort of done for these past 6-7 weeks or whatever, he's always reverted to this back four, and it's not worked for us with the caliber of players we have and the fact that our attackers can't create or finish any chances.
Mm.
So I think it was definitely the right decision to um,
On,
sort of
on the
go with the
back
back
three there,
three.
D. So going to a back three, you're obviously putting an extra man in midfield, would you say, or is it more the extra man in defence? How are you looking at it with Chelsea?
I think it could be a bit of both, to be honest, because on paper it looks like there's one extra centre back on there, but when you sort of watch us play, like Loftus Cheek sometimes drifts into midfield as well, and his natural position is a midfielder. So that way we sort of combated Leeds well with Ruben dropping in a little bit as well to
Mm.
sort of combat. Was it? I think Tyler Adams it was, and Wester McKennie I think it was. But I think those are the two midfielders for them. So who had quite a lot of energy and stuff, and at times we struggled to keep up with their pace. But Enzo Fernandez, what I thought was superb with breaking up play, Mateo Kovacic, but I think the chemistry needs to still build between them two in terms of who drops in and who goes forward. Because at times we've seen this with Kovacic and Kante; they both don't want to sit back. Whereas when we had sort of Jorginho, he'd always sit back, so at least we'd have someone there. But with Jorginho, in my opinion anyway, I don't think he was capable of playing the sixth role that he does just because of the physicality. He always gets beaten and
Mm.
bypassed so easily. But yeah, the defense did really well. Badiashile did really well. Came in after 2 games, I believe. I think he was dropped against Spurs.
Yep.
Um, Important as well. Kalidou Koulibaly had a good game because him and Fofana are going to start against Borussia Dortmund on Tuesday. So it's important that they both had a good performance. And I thought my man of the match personally was Wesley Fofana, not just because he scored, but just his overall play coming back from the injury, slotting in for Thiago Silva against Spurs last week. I thought he was great. Today was really good. He's winning lots of aerial draws, lots of tackles, aggressive, quick as well. Just what we require from a centre back, and I think that right centre back position is sort of perfect for him. But yeah, sort of going into the midfield then. Like I thought Ben Chilwell did all right as well on that left hand side. I thought he limited. I think it was Somerville was playing that side. I couldn't remember Somerville or Harrison, who were getting a bit of space a few times, but I thought his deliveries were great into the box, especially the corner as well for the goal. Yeah, and Ruben did all right as well, right wing back. We saw how good he sort of was against Real Madrid in that position, and it's a shame that Reece James is got a tight hamstring. Otherwise, he would have been even better in that position, I think. So, um, yeah, with regards to that, I can't complain at this present time that we've sort of won. And a big shout out to Kepa as well, who I thought it was good as well. Probably didn't have to do much in terms of saves, but he was commanding, he was vocal, and yeah, at the moment he's turned his Chelsea career around. So yeah, but I think the only issues I have with sort of today is just the sort of the chance creation and the finishing as usual with Kai Havertz, because I don't want Kai Havertz at the club anymore. Personally, don't don't rate him as a footballer. I'm always grateful for the Champions League goal that he gave us, but let's be real about it. In that season, he wasn't good at all, and he hasn't been good in a Chelsea shirt. Full stop.
Yeah, it's
So
not happened for him, has it?
it's not happened
Do you
for him
think
now.
Aubameyang? So what's your view on Aubameyang? Because a lot of Chelsea fans saying he's an out and out centre forward. He can hold the ball up. Do you think there's a problem with his attitude? Do you think it's his commitment? I mean, do you think Potter's being too hard on him and he should be giving him more minutes?
Um, I think it's a bit of both of them, if I'm being honest, because we've seen the sort of attitude problems he's had at Arsenal. It's quite
Mm.
visualized when you see it in the All or Nothing documentary. You see sort of the details when he was at Arsenal of how he was. But at the same time, if Graham Potter's the manager, if he doesn't fancy him, he doesn't fancy him. If you know what I mean. So and like Aubameyang was sort of brought in for Thomas Tuchel. He wasn't brought in for Graham Potter, and we all know that as Chelsea fans, and I'm pretty sure rival fans will know that as well. So Aubameyang was coming on the basis that Thomas Tuchel would transform him into a quality striker again. And I don't agree with the hold-up play stuff. I don't think his hold-up play's been that good. I think since he's left Arsenal, he's always been that penalty box striker where chance creation around him is good and he's always there for, like, say, a tap in. I don't think he's
To
that kind of player
finish,
anymore
yeah.
where
But isn't that what Chelsea are missing a bit? Finishing. I mean, he didn't even come on today, did he?
no, I don't. Honestly can't remember the last time he's played for us. Like,
Mm,
genuinely can't remember. He didn't come in against Tottenham. Obviously he's omitted from the Champions League squad. He hasn't been part of that. I think he must have come on as a sub at some stage. But it's clear
mm.
that Graham Potter doesn't rate him, doesn't want him in the team. So yeah, it's just about finding a suitable club and trying to recoup some of that 10 million that we spent on him. To be
Yeah,
honest,
it's not too bad in the grand scheme of Chelsea's spend. You know, it's probably not even 10%, man, because I think 10% is about
yeah,
50 mil or whatever it is, 30 mil,
yeah,
600 million or whatever the final figure is.
yeah,
Tell me
literally.
about these tactics. So obviously you went three at the back against Tottenham. I think
Mhm.
you were four at the back, weren't you?
Yeah, we play four at the back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you think that do you think Potter's the whole everyone's talking about Potter needing time, Potter needing experimentation with different centre backs here. You've got three new centre backs that weren't at Chelsea this time last year. You've got another couple of players in midfield there, which, you know, Enzo looks like he's found his place. It looks like João Felix is, you know, a starter now. Raheem Sterling's come back into it. So you've got players there with the keeper playing well, with Koulibaly now. Do you feel like Potter's getting to know who his first 11 are and he's starting to see who the characters are? Do you feel like the giving him time is starting to pay off? I know it's only one result and it is Leeds at home, and Leeds are a very poor team. You haven't gone and beat a top six team. But do you think that you're seeing some consistency within this lineup now, even if it might not be formation?
Personally, in my opinion, no, because with this, we've seen Graham Potter tinker with the team loads since he's been here, and I think there was a stat before the game that we've actually made more changes to our team than we've got points on the board. So that just
Mm,
says it all, to be honest. So um, now that we've won, I kind of see him sticking with this kind of formation when these set of players, especially with Thiago Silva being out. I think that puts a massive dent into our defense, and I think having that three centre backs really sort of covers for that in a way.
yeah,
And I think with where once Reece James is fit again, I think he'll definitely slot right back into right wing back. Where, in my opinion, I think that's his best position. And then we've seen how good Reece and Chilwell have been as wing backs, and they're the key to this formation for us. Those wing backs, because they can support sort of whoever's playing at right centre back or left centre back. But then again, they can provide that width out wide as well and get crosses into the box for whoever our sort of strikers and forwards are.
yeah,
But I think the forwards as well, just those sort of like ones just behind the striker. I think João Felix is perfect in that position because he's not really a winger, but at the same time, he's not a striker at the same time. So
yeah.
that position is perfect for him, like a number 10. But as for Raheem Sterling, that's not really his position. He's more of a winger, and it's the same as Mudryk as well. Mudryk's more of a wide player. So if we are to see them, both of them, I prefer them being like wing back choices rather than like those inside tens because they don't have the technical ability that João Felix has. So yeah, that's pretty much it
I
from
mean,
a
Raheem's got a
tactical point of view.
7.5 on here, so it looks like he had a good game. I mean, I know he was
I thought
subbed off, but yeah.
I thought he did okay. I mean, he had a few good dribbles here and there, but he's just such a frustrating player because when you when there's an opportunity to sort of shoot, he never shoots. He takes that extra touch, and I feel like a lot of players do that.
Mm,
He had a really golden opportunity in the second half. I think it was where I think Chukwemeka I think laid it off to him. I can't remember who it was, and Sterling just took the wrong touch. For some reason, he didn't bring it out to his right foot. He took it on his left foot instead and tried to cut in. I'm like, bro, you're right footed, man. Why don't you just smash that in? And
yeah.
it's just frustrating. But yeah,
But on that right side there, you've got Ruben, where Reece James would otherwise be. You've got Raheem Sterling and you've got Fofana, all Premier League experience, all British players. They get this league, you know, they've learnt their trade in this league. On the left there, you've got Ben Chilwell, who's back from his injury. You've got here some Premier League experience in this team. Havertz has had a season in the Premier League. So do you think it's better to start these guys and let these new signings like Mudryk and other players kind of learn their trade in the Premier League? Because I find with the Premier League, a lot of these players that come in, they need 6 months. You know, they need 10 games, and they can't just pick up the pace of this league as quick as we'd all like. And you know, Pedro Porro at Tottenham came in, had a shocker at Leicester, Yes, there were players around him weren't great that day with Sanchez behind him, but today had a good performance, Pedro Porro, even though we lost. And you could see he's kind of, he's getting the rhythm of this league and the team. So do you think Potter needs to stick to his Premier League proven guys rather than the price tags, and fans have to be patient to see these super signings come in? I mean, where are you on that, man? Do you think it's better to be safe with that, or do you think you should be throwing in these superstars from the beginning?
Um, I think what it is, I think Graham Potter's not afraid to bench players because I'm after today, I'm convinced that Potter never wanted Mudryk.
Mm,
I'm convinced that that's the more the ownership that wanted Mudryk because he's now been benched for I think for the past 2 or 3 games, and he obviously didn't come on today. I think he came on for a bit against Spurs. I can't remember how long it was, but yeah, I'm convinced that Mudryk wasn't a Potter signing. Potentially Madueke as well because he hasn't started the past 2 games, and especially since he can't play in the Champions League, it's like why is he not starting in the league? So there's regards to that, and obviously we got other bench players like Hakim Ziyech cost about £30 million as well. We got like I said, Madueke, Mudryk as well, who both cost like combined total of like maybe I think it's about 120 million. So he's not afraid to bench those kind of big name players, and he's not sort of getting that pressure from Bowley to play Mudryk, who cost about what 60 to 80
yeah,
million.
that's a
So
sign of a good manager, there, man. He's only
mm,
selecting players based on merit, nothing else.
the problem is we performed so poorly for since he's been here. It's like he's just gonna try every sort of formula that he's got. I think that's the only sort of benefit that I think Potter has. He has 33 players to choose from. So if it doesn't work with this play, he can try another play. He can try another play. He can leave this player at the squad. But um, initially another one, the subject of the manager and stuff, like I'm still not convinced by him even after today, in my opinion, anyway. Fair enough if Chelsea fans are like, I'm not gonna criticize anyone for sort of wanting to back the manager because at the end of the day, as Chelsea fans, we want our team to win and we want to be where Arsenal are or where Man City have been for the past 3 or 4 seasons is winning trophies. So, but I'm just
Question
not
is, have
convinced
you
that
got the
Graham
right
Potter.
manager? That's the thing, isn't it? Because we've had VJ on here for the last 7 episodes, 6 episodes. Episode 7 is going to be tomorrow 9 o'clock, and VJ's been quite patient with it, and he's been,
Mm,
he's hardcore VJ Chelsea. He's like, you know what, it's difficult, but he's also been saying there's been nothing for Chelsea fans to actually go off. So we're not seeing anything. We're not having a loss and a win. And in the win, we're seeing that we're playing well. In the loss, we've got work to do. It's just been dreadful football, dreadful team selection,
that's
dreadful
yeah,
management. Post-match interviews have been dreadful. Everything's just been a bit,
yeah.
below par. But I mean, are you after this win? Surely a lot of Chelsea fans up and down the country have to give Potter at least to the end of the season, man. What's the point in sacking him? And does it make any sense, or are you on the other side of the fence where if we sack him, get a manager bounce, and we can still make top four or top six quite easily?
Yeah, see, it's a tough one because I'm still in the stance of having Graham Potter out, to be honest, because I think for me the turning point was Southampton at home because you got the great opportunity to sort of beat a team 4 or 5-0, build some confidence into the side, and we lost 1-0 that game. And for me, there's not been a performance that's been convincing for me, even the wins that we've had. Like the game against Crystal Palace, we won, I think, back in I think January, I think it was, or December. I can't remember when we beat Palace 1-0. Even that game, we were fortunate that Palace just weren't clinical. Bournemouth as well. I did think Bournemouth were great on the day. I thought we were okay, but there
Mm,
was times where Bournemouth couldn't finish their chances as well. And then you go to today as well, where there was little aspects of the game where I thought with better forwards and sort of better midfield for Leeds, I think they get a result. So and
yeah,
but people say the AC Milan game, but we have to remember AC Milan had injuries as well, like Teo Hernandez. Obviously, I believe he was injured for the first or second game. Tomori obviously got the red card, which I didn't think was a red card. Um, but yeah, there's not been any sort of signs. That's the thing I look at in the manager. If there's any signs of improvement happening, and we haven't seen that, we've regressed. We take today out of it. We've truly regressed in terms of the style of football we play, the results on the pitch. It's not been good enough, and we spent like every sort of rival fan reminds us about £600 million. So for me, I don't think that's changed after one game. If we start to see it more and more, if we start to see a better performance against Dortmund, and then I can't remember who we play next week, but I think is it Villa? Is it Villa or Everton next week? I think we've got. I
I
can't
think
remember
you got
actually.
Leicester as
I have
well,
to
and it
double
coming
check.
up. You got
Oh,
Leicester coming up.
yeah. Sorry, yeah. Leicester away. We just have to keep seeing these performances. It's like I really want Graham Potter to do well, but at the same time, judging on performances we've had, I just don't see it happening, in my opinion. And I think the
Yeah.
last straw will be Borussia Dortmund. I think if we go out to Borussia Dortmund, I think he's gone. I truly believe that.
Wow.
I think from a financial perspective from the owners, I think getting that sort of Champions League money will be important to them and progressing
But is
well into
there
the
really
Europe's
any shame
league.
in
So
losing to Dortmund over 2 legs? I mean, they are a good team, innit? It's not like they're a
yeah,
small club.
they're a good team, but we're Chelsea. We're better on paper than them. Look at the caliber of players we've got compared to Borussia Dortmund, who haven't won the league in God knows how long. I know Bayern are the best team in that league, but
But then
Borussia Dortmund have won the league
wouldn't
before.
people argue Dortmund's a gel team? The manager knows he's been there. You know, it's more stable. Chelsea's an unstable club in terms of not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, you're unstable. And when I mean unstable, I mean you've got so many new
Mm.
faces in the dressing room. How are you supposed to get it all right so quickly against teams like Dortmund? I would actually think if you lost to Dortmund, people would look at the Leicester game and say if he loses the Leicester game, then yeah, Potter's head's on the block. But remember, Leicester is away, right? You've got Leicester away.
Yeah, next
So,
Saturday. Yeah,
so
yeah.
then I feel like people would say you lost to Dortmund, say, okay, we're outside the Champions League, probably weren't going to win it anyways. Do we need the money? Yes, we do. Every club needs the money, but are we hand to mouth? Chelsea are not hand to mouth. You've got a different business model there. You've got good
Mm.
investment from America, etc. So if you lose that game and then you lose to Leicester City away, then I think at Chelsea Everton at home, you lose that, and yeah, I agree with you, man. If you lose to Everton at home off the back of 2 defeats, then his head's got to roll because then he's lost and he doesn't know what he's doing. Forget losing the
Also, the
dressing room.
Champions League. Yeah, sorry. Also, the Champions League's the only
Yeah, go on.
competition we're realistically in left, and we've won it before after sacking the manager. So that's why, sort of, I think every sort of Chelsea
Who was
fan
that
that's
manager
hoping the
you won it
Champions
with? Was
League.
it what's his name?
Tuchel, or the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
before that.
Tuchel.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tuchel won it with you.
yeah.
The manager before that was
It
it
was Di
Lamps?
Matteo. Oh
No,
no,
it was
Di
Di Matteo.
Matteo.
Di Matteo. Di
Yeah,
Matteo.
Di
Di Matteo.
Matteo.
Yeah.
So yeah, literally, it's been sort of 2 managers since we've done that, and if you look at the teams in the Champions League as well, there's not really a standout team. Arguably Real Madrid, who thrashed Liverpool the other week as well. You got Napoli, a good form as well, but
Mm.
apart from them two, Man City always fumble in the Champions League, don't they, as well? So there's a real chance for us to go and win a trophy this season, which is all this all about, to be honest,
That's a good
is
point,
trying to
man.
get some silverware.
Chelsea are in Europe maybe a team that's feared because of their history, even though it is Graham Potter. You've got players there that teams would look at Chelsea in Europe and think, right, they're not going to finish top four unless Spurs, Newcastle, Liverpool collapse. And the chances of all three collapsing is low. If you had
We're
one
forgetting
team
about
up there,
Brentford, Fulham, Brighton as well, who are all
you're
ahead of
right. I
us.
should give Brentford respect. Brentford are up there. They've got 3 games on Tottenham, I think now, so Brentford can finish
Brighton
top
won
four.
4-0 today as well, yeah.
Sorry, Brighton as well can finish top four. Yeah, Fulham are in there. Fulham are yet to play. So I think Chelsea, looking at this Premier League table now, you've probably the win today gives you a boost to go into that Dortmund game, and that's what you needed, right? You needed some confidence.
I think psychologically, yeah. So definitely psychologically, I think having scored a goal and having a win should take us to some confidence on Tuesday. But I've seen how Chelsea have been for the past, like since the start of the season. I just don't trust us to get the job done against Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's going to be difficult. So this performance today, D, was it a reflection? Was 1-0 a reflection, or should you have won by 3 or 4?
Uh, uh, with the chances we had, we should have won by 3 or 4. Kai Havertz had a great chance at the start of the first half. I think a ball played through by I think it was Enzo or Kovacic. I can't remember who it was. Brilliantly passed ball, but it was on his weaker foot. Tried to dink the keeper, but Kai Havertz like can never finish anything, to be honest. So I'm not surprised, honestly. Like
He's
people say it was a
definitely
good
out,
save. It
isn't he,
was
in
a
the
decent
summer?
save, but sorry, what was that?
I would say he's definitely out in the summer, right? Havertz
Oh
at the
yeah, yeah.
moment.
For me, he is. Yeah, if we get any sort of money for him, yeah, just sell him. Like, just sell him immediately. To be honest, but yeah, there was a chance there. Anyone from the top of my head, Raheem Sterling, like I mentioned as well, had a good chance as well in the second half to sort of score. Jar Felix hit the bar as well. That was unlucky, to be honest. Like a great technique. I think it was Ruben who pulled it back back to him and then took it first time. Hit the bar for unfortunate. But yeah, if we're truly looking at the chances created
Mm.
and sort of the chances missed, we should have won that game by 3 or 4, which I definitely feel more happier if we've done that than sort of a 1-0 win in a way. But at the same time, a win is a win at the same time. Like we've been crying out for a win, so
And a
I'm
clean
not
sheet
really
as well.
complaining in a way. And a clean sheet as well. Clean sheets, like defensively, I think we've got a better defensive record than I think Arsenal and Newcastle, which is strange. It's just I think that just proves the problems we have at the front base of the pitch. To be honest, about scoring goals, that's been our main problem, and I'm not really worried about us defensively.
Yeah, your goal difference is -1, so that would suggest
Yeah,
you're losing by small margins.
yeah. I think 1-0 or like 2-1 has been our sort of most like lost sort of games this season in a way. Like we just don't score enough goals. Like just generally, that's just the biggest problem.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, mate. Just looking at this first, not even this first half, looking at this whole 95 minutes here. So you had three big chances. You missed three big chances. So it could have been more. Could have been 2 or 3 nil. You hit the
Yeah,
woodwork once. So those are always, those, with woodworks and that, you've got to count them as big chances because,
yeah, of course,
couple of
yeah,
inches here and then it's in. Counter attacks, you had two. Counter attacking shots, 4 shots. So you basically murdered Leeds on all the stats from what I can see. You outpassed them. You pretty much took all the stats home. So Leeds deserved to lose this game on stats. I don't know how many chances they had. There weren't many on this in terms of stats, but you know what the Premier
I'm
League's
trying to
like.
remember if they had any chances on
They might have
that.
had one or two. They might have had one or two. It says shots on target two
I
here for the whole game.
honestly don't remember Kepa having to make a great save. I
Having
think
to
there was
make,
one right at the end, like or two right at the end, but which were like they were
yeah,
floaters. They were literally just like it was such an easy
yeah,
sort of
just
save
weak same
for Kepa.
shots.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, nothing to
yeah.
danger Kepa.
But
So
I think that's a reflection of how poor Leeds as well. At the same time, I've
I
said
was just
like
about to say,
yeah,
you can't take this result too, um,
seriously
you
in a
know,
way. As
yeah.
I know, obviously we won. It's great to win and stuff, but at the same time, like we have to remember, there's definitely worse teams in the league, and Leeds United are definitely where they are for a reason. So yeah.
Yeah. So let's pull up the table in a minute. I'll pull up for you in a minute. Are you obviously the chances of you finishing top four are very low as it stands. But when you look above you and you see the likes of Liverpool, Spurs, and Newcastle all off form with I think 13 games to go or whatever it is, surely with nothing left this season to do, he's just got to focus his troops. And if you put 3, 4 wins together with this win, you got Leicester, you got Everton, teams you should beat D with the quality you've got. Teams similar to Leeds, they have the back
Yeah.
door open in Everton and Leicester. If you beat Everton and Leicester, today you've won. Surely Chelsea fans cannot just completely say top four's gone. I mean, surely there's a chance. This is the Premier League. We've still got 13, 14 games to go. As a Chelsea fan, are you optimistic that you can make top four, considering what's going on above you?
No, but fortunately for me, I think top four is truly gone. I think if we had I think for me the turning point for not me thinking we can reach top four was not beating Liverpool at Anfield. In my opinion, that's when for me I thought top four was truly done. Where we had the opportunity to um, gain 3 points to Liverpool with chances missed as well in that game as well. I thought we were great that game, but it was just again up front we were just rubbish. But looking at the table now that you've sort of got. Um,
Mate,
Sorry,
I don't think it's over, mate. I don't think it's over. Look, you're
you don't think it's
34
over?
points. You're 34 points with a game in hand on fourth, which is Tottenham at the moment. That could change.
Which of our game in hands against Liverpool, by the way, as well.
But again,
So, but
Chelsea
at that game,
against Liverpool, who are looking a bit flaky in midfield and at the back, could do a job on them. Like, if you said to me, we've got to play Arsenal, Man City, and we've got to go away to the Emirates and whatnot, then yeah, of course you're going to put Arsenal and Man City ahead of Chelsea now. But you've got teams to play here. Looking at your fixtures, you've got Liverpool at home, right?
yeah,
In terms of teams above you, you've then got. Let me scroll down here. You've got Spurs. You've done Spurs, so the double
yeah,
over Spurs hasn't been done, right? You've got
we've
the
got
draw and the
Brighton and
loss.
Brentford still to
You've
play
got
as well at
Brighton at
home.
home. You've got Man United away. You've got Arsenal away. You've got
City away.
Newcastle away, and you've got Man City away and Newcastle at home. So Man City away, yes, don't expect you to go there and pick up points with the way you're currently playing. Newcastle at home, so you can see Chelsea picking up points. Brentford at home, the West London derby. Brighton at home. Liverpool at home. It's not that bad. There's a lot of home games there, D.
I
Teams
honestly
above you.
don't think we. I honestly don't think. Look at those sort of teams. I honestly don't see us beating either of them. If I'm being real right now, I know they're at home and stuff, but look at last season. Like for example, last season we drew with We drew with Brighton at home. We lost. We lost. I think 4-2 or 4-1 to Brentford last season. Liverpool we drew to them as well. Newcastle we narrowly won 1-0 to them. City we lost as well away. Arsenal where we won last season, but it's a completely Arsenal different team. So yeah, I'll be real. I don't know where we pick up points against those teams, to be honest. And I think it's a bit too far the gap. I think we're relying on too many teams to drop points at this stage. We've got Brentford, Brighton, you've got Fulham, you've got Liverpool and Newcastle and Spurs all to drop points, and I just don't think it's possible for all of them to drop points.
So the thing is, you play bar Tottenham and Man United. So bar Tottenham actually only. You play Man United.
Yeah.
You got to play Man United.
Yeah.
You got to play Man City. You got to play Newcastle. You got to play Liverpool. You've got to play Fulham. You've got to play Brighton and Brentford.
We played Fulham twice, bro.
Have you done Fulham twice? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, excuse me on that. So you've played Fulham twice. So everyone except Fulham and Spurs. I'm going up to fourth. I'm going just up to fourth. Forget United. Up to fourth, you've still got to play everyone bar Spurs and Fulham. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Mate, I don't know, mate. I wouldn't say.
I personally, I'm like, on paper, it's a great opportunity. It's perfect to sort of take that opportunity to sort of beat teams in those sort of positions. But we also got to look at the teams that are near us as well. Like we got Aston Villa, we can't forget about as well. We're just below us in 11th. They're literally level on points with us right now. And then we've got teams that, like, what I say as well, never underestimate the teams that right at the bottom as well, because they'll be fighting for their lives. Like,
we saw that with Bournemouth today.
Yeah, we've got Everton to play as well at the Bridge. We didn't beat them last season. We narrowly won this season. We've got, I believe have we still got to play West Ham, I think, at home.
West Ham, you don't have. No, I can't see West Ham here. You played West Ham twice.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
You played West Ham.
But yeah, we can't underestimate that. I just think it's too much to ask. And I think with the way we're performing, I just don't see us getting fourth. I don't see us getting like 8th, let alone 4th, man. But
wow.
Honestly,
you're realistic there, D. I gotta say, mate, you're very realistic.
Do you know what? Like, if Potter showed me any sort of like signs of any improvement or any progression in terms of points,
football.
If we were in Brighton's position or Fulham's position right now, if we were sort of there with those kind of points, I'd definitely say we're still in the race, given the chances. But we're 5 points, like 3-4 points off like teams like Brentford, Brighton, Fulham. So yeah, I'm just looking at the table again, man. Like we're 5 points off Fulham, and we haven't beaten them this season. So that just shows it all, to be honest, for me.
So let's talk about Potter out then. Let's just say Potter is sacked, right? Let's say you lose to Dortmund and you don't pick up points, Leicester away, whatever it is. Potter's sacked in the next 2-3 games. Is there a manager out there that's available, that's free, that you would like to come in?
See, that's the biggest issue for me. Is we do sack Potter, who comes in to sort of steady the ship. There's one manager I do currently want, but he's not available, as Hansi Flick at the moment. I think that will be sort of the manager that I'd go for. But your question was sort of more based around ones that are available. The ones that are available, I'm looking at Luis Enrique, who's available. You got Zidane, who's available. You got Mauricio Pochettino, who's available. Out of those ones,
I think Zidane's available as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Zidane's available, but he's openly said he doesn't want to come to England and manage. So unless Bowley somehow throws like a shit ton of money at him, then
a quick 1 month contract, 500
exactly,
million.
Yeah. Then I can see that happening. Sign him up. Other than that, I don't think so. But Mauricio Pochettino, a lot of people say no to him. But at first I was like that, but I'm kind of leaning towards leaning towards him a little bit, given
What,
what.
Poch at Chelsea? I think Poch is a
Yeah,
project manager. I'm not sure he's going to come in and win you instant trophies. He's more of a project manager. Maybe you need a project manager because let's be honest, there's a lot of new faces there. You know, that
but the
whole thing
problem is,
needs to be rebuilt.
I don't think he'll do as bad as Graham Potter is doing right now, and that's what
Nah,
I think. That's the main reason why we need sort of a new manager right now. It's just to sort of
mate, we
steady the
want
ship.
Poch, mate. You're not allowed to have him, man.
Yeah,
We
I
want
know,
him back.
I know you boys want Poch. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I know
telling you,
you
this
boys want Poch,
Conte
but
ball is killing Spurs fans at the moment, man. There's a
yeah,
lot of
no, I
Spurs
can
fans
imagine.
saying
Yeah,
get him back.
I've got a few Spurs mates, man.
Yeah.
They've
I
had
think
enough of
Poch
him,
is
but
waiting for a Premier League
the Spurs job. Yeah,
top
I
six
think he
club.
does love
Yeah.
Spurs, doesn't he? As well,
Even
like he does love
Newcastle, man.
Spurs. So
Even Newcastle. If Eddie Howe flops it for the next 10 games and
yeah,
Newcastle don't even end up in Europe, which is possible, and they end up eighth,
mm,
you know, Poch would be attracted by Newcastle because he's going to have money, he's going to have
money.
time,
Yeah,
and he's not walking into like a Chelsea where, you know, the fans are going to be on your back and
yeah,
say, right, we want trophies. Newcastle are going to be happy to get top four. Just that's
yeah,
it. That's enough for Newcastle at the moment, you know, just to be back in
yeah.
Europe. So I wonder if Poch is waiting for one of these clubs, but for sure he is. He is, or he might just have his heart set on Tottenham. You know, he might just have his.
I honestly think he'll go back to Tottenham. I think eventually at some
Never
point.
works out with the ex, mate. Never works out with the ex. It happened with Jose. Happened with Jose with you lot. He came back and was like, return of the Messiah. He's back. Jose's back. World
He did win us
domination.
the league. To be fair, he did win us
He
the league. To
did.
be
He
fair,
did. He
so,
did.
but
But who
after that, it
doesn't
just
go
went there.
Chelsea and win? Come on. It's
Graham
like a
Potter.
yeah, exactly. Grandpa at the moment. But what I mean is Chelsea is one of them clubs because they've always Roman Abramovich has always spent well and they've recruited
Yeah,
really well with Czech and Marina and all those guys. It was always a job where you can go in as a top class manager and not have to change too much. The team was set. You had decent centre backs, decent wing backs, full backs, whatever, and you
yeah,
cracked
true.
on. And that's what most managers have done, apart from Lampard and Potter, which is funny because they're the British ones. So
Yeah,
you know, it's not worked out for an ex-player and a young British manager, man. Um,
true.
but you know what, Chelsea, man, at the moment it's a funny one, mate, because like they're just sleeping, and everyone wants to keep Potter there. So Tottenham fans will say Potter in, Arsenal fans will say
Of
Potter
course,
in,
yeah.
Chelsea fans are saying Potter out, and it's like just leave it as it is. And Todd Bowley, to be fair, let's talk about Todd Bowley. Are you?
Mm.
How do you rate him? Because money wise, he's done it. He's spent money. Whether you've overpaid for signings or not, what do you think? Do you think you've overpaid for some of these guys? Now you've seen a
I
bit of them.
think just yeah, I think to sign players in January, I think you have to overpay for what you want. We've seen that with the Moises Caicedo saga with sort of Arsenal. I think like Brighton wanted
He's just
at
signed,
least
by the way.
90 million.
Caicedo's he's about to
Yeah,
renew.
he signed a
Yeah,
contract as well,
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
begging to leave Brighton, and Brighton were like, "No, give us 90 million." So you've seen how ruthless the market is in January, and with Todd Bowley's money there, I think Roman Abramovich actually said to whoever the next owner was going to be at Chelsea that you must spend at least this amount of money. Otherwise, I'm not giving the ownership to anyone. So he left us in good hands in terms of investment into the players. And we've obviously got the stadium talks right now as well,
Mm.
looking to expand the stadium, which was long needed as well for us because our stadium just like it's getting manky, man. but
A nice area,
but yeah,
though, isn't it?
but yeah, Todd Bowley is an owner. I can't fault his ambition for sort of the club and what he wants to do with Chelsea. But only criticism I do have him is the summer transfer market where it was a bit too manic and too crazy, where he wanted to take over transfers. And this was before Christopher Vivell, and I think that's Joe Shields from Southampton came in as well. So he was trying to sort of take control of the transfers in the summer window, and it hasn't worked out. Like, I'll be real, like I'm just trying to think of all the summer signings we signed.
Mm. Do you
None of them
know
have done really
VJ?
well.
And
So
VJ is going to be on Sunday show, and VJ said this to me last week. He said the thing with Chelsea is they've always had, in terms of recruitment, they've never truly involved the manager because they've
yeah,
always seen the manager as a 2 to 3 year kind of in and out. And they've never really given a manager the full spend as to what he wants necessarily. I'm not sure that's not 100% true because a manager will be like, I need a
mm,
right back, go and get me a right back, I need a centre back. Do you think in that summer window where you spent all that money and this January transfer window, do you actually think that Graham Potter had much of a say? Because he did bring his recruitment guys with him, right?
yeah, he did. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he
So
did
do you
bring
think
his
there is
recruitment guys.
do you think there is a point in that he's just given these players, or do you think they are his players, the ones that he signed in the January transfer window?
Um, in the January transfer window, it's hard to judge. I think the only way we know is eventually when he does get sacked, there'll obviously be an Athletic article that will come out, and that's the only way we'll find out is once eventually when Graham Potter leaves, we'll find out everything. To be honest, it's like how we found out about the Lampard stuff, where he didn't want half the players that came in that sort of window. Apart from Ben Chilwell, I think he was the one who truly wanted, but the rest of them he didn't really want. So we don't know. Well, no, none of us will know.
The thing is, though,
unless
Chelsea
Graham
don't
Potter
buy
said it.
Chelsea don't buy average players. They tend to buy decent players. So if it is true that the manager's not involved with recruitment, at least they're giving the manager good players. You know, at
The
least they're
thing
giving
is,
him
like, to
decent
sort of
players.
work with that, but to work with those players as well, it's their preference as well. At the same time, because when Thomas Tuchel was in charge, he didn't want Romelu Lukaku or Saul after winning Champions League, and that's where my sort of anger lies with the ownership, the previous ownership. It's like you don't win a Champions League, but you don't invest properly into the team to kick us on to go for the title, which a lot of fans expected us to do. But we ended up finishing, I think it was third, wasn't it, or fourth? We finished in that season.
Mm.
So, and he was given Romelu Lukaku, who was not a Thomas Tuchel type striker. He's perfect for teams like where he is now, Inter Milan. He's perfect for the Serie A, where it's a bit slow, bit of physicality.
Yeah.
His ball playing as a striker is not good at all. His hold up play is okay, I guess, but he's not a Thomas Tuchel striker. And Saul Niguez as well. Like we've been crying out for a midfielder for ages, and they only give us Saul Niguez on loan. That's it, and it's just not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, with Felix now in there, with Enzo in there, you're kind of
Yeah.
missing that straight up number 9, aren't you? You're missing that replacing a Lukaku, or replacing Drogba
See,
or Acosta. Is that your ideal kind of tough player you want in there? You want an out and out number 9, or what do you think's the missing piece out
just a
front? Because
goal
you're lacking
scorer.
goal.
Honestly, like it doesn't have to be number 9, just a goal scorer, someone who knows how to score a goal, basically. As simple as that sounds, like you see players like Son Heung-min, he's not a striker, but you'll guarantee at least 10 to 15 goals a season. You've seen
But he
like
has got
players like
Kane
Sadio
next
Mane.
to him,
Yeah, he has got Kane
holding
as
off,
well. Yeah.
feeding him. Yeah, so
Oh
you know,
yeah,
a lot of credit.
who's fantastic as well. And you've got like players like Sadio Mane, Harry Kane, not Harry Kane, sorry.
Salah,
Salah, Mane, you've got as well.
Martinelli,
Bobby
Saka.
Firmino as well, who wasn't out at
Mm,
number 9, but would get at
mm,
least 10 to 15 goals. And you look at Manchester City, you had Sane, Sterling
mm.
back in the day as well. I think we've got that player in Sterling, but it's just the players around him just not creating for him. And when he's been at Man City, he's always relied on, say, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, David Silva to sort of create chances for him, and scored literally tap-ins. Like most of his goals are tap-ins for Raheem Sterling.
Yep, that's a good
And
point.
the reason for that is the work that Man City do. And people forget that Raheem Sterling's got over 100 Premier League goals as well as a winger. And we've got that in our possession, but we just don't cater for him in a way.
He
So
finishes, doesn't he? He finishes most moves off, doesn't he, Raheem Sterling? He's
yeah,
at the back
it's
post. He's running in, at, to make that
exactly,
final.
yeah. And we just don't have the players for that. So with regards to that, I think it's less of the sort of striker, because we've tried the striker route so many times. We bought countless of strikers. We bought Higuain, Morata, who haven't done well. We've done obviously Romelu Lukaku who's coming. He's been a flop as well. I'm trying to think of any more. Yeah, I said Higuain already, but those are the main 3 to be
Mm.
honest. So I can't think of any more from the top of my head. There's probably more. Tam Abraham, I thought wasn't great for us. I thought as well.
I actually liked
Overall,
him, man. I liked Tammy Abraham, man. But he just had, who did he have
I
ahead of
could
him?
see why people did like him at the same time, but
Mm.
there were so many times I was just so
But he
frustrated with
wasn't
Tammy. But
Chelsea, was he? He was more top
he
10.
wasn't
He was
Chelsea
like a,
level.
yeah,
I think he's
do
definitely
well at
like
Villa
a
or somewhere like that.
yeah. Well, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did really well at Villa. But
Mm.
obviously that was in the Championship. But
Mm.
well, we're mid-table now, so I guess he's kind of suits us, doesn't he? That we're a mid-table team. So,
He walks into that team now.
oh mate, tell you about it. He probably does at this rate. But
Yeah.
um,
I
but
guess,
yeah,
I
with the
guess,
ownership,
with
yeah,
Mudryk, do you think Modric's actually decent? Like, having seen him, he's playing in the Ukrainian league, so you could argue it's a lesser league. He's played in the Champions League, right? So you've
yeah.
got some exposure there. How do you rate Mudryk? Do you think, of what you've seen, do you think he's not worth the price tag, is he? Because you paid a January price tag. So in the summer, would he have been worth 50 mil? When there's many other options. Do you think he's going to be someone that's going to smash it? I mean, just it's early days, but what do you make of Mudryk, mate? Because you spend a lot of money on him.
Yeah, I think that cameo against Liverpool has kind of blinded us as Chelsea fans a tiny bit, because he was up against a 30-year-old James Milner, and let's be real, he's definitely quicker than James Milner. So, but when we also that cameo, everyone got really gassed seeing him. Like even me, I was like, wow, okay, we've got a player on our hands, but He was ill against Fulham, had heavy legs from a flu and stuff, so he got subbed off. Made a couple of sub appearances. Against Dortmund, he was a bit frustrating. But yeah, I truly believe that he's not a Graham Potter signing. I think that's more the ownership, sort of wanting to get the most sort of attractive players in the market. And I think I think one thing people forget about Mudryk as well is the fact that he didn't play any football for about a year because of the war stuff happening in Ukraine. So obviously the league was stopped for that reason as well. So he actually hasn't played a lot of football. When you don't play for a year, you're obviously going to lose that sharpness, that fitness as well, and you can see it as well. So
You've got him on an
yeah,
8 year, right? Or was it 7 year? What is it?
something like that, 7 or 8 years.
7, 8 years. So you
Something
could
like
loan him
that.
out. That's the good thing about these 8 year contracts. You could loan him out.
Could loan
So
them out,
you
yeah,
could loan
yeah.
him out. That's an option for you. Maybe even in the Premier League.
I want to see him
Um,
start more though, because I definitely think he definitely needs to start more, and I think he gets hooked off way too quickly, in my opinion as well. And like building that sort of relationship on the left hand side with Cucurella hasn't worked at all. He doesn't pass on the ball. Ben
mm.
Chilwell, it was okay, but you sort of limit Chilwell's attacking output in the back four in a way. So yeah, just
Yeah.
have to
Tell us
wait and
about
see with
the
Madrid.
partnerships in this team then. So where do you see good partnerships forming? I know today's team was different to
Uh,
last week's team, but generally across the squad, which partnerships do you see developing? Because you talked there about Ben Chilwell and Mudryk. I mean,
yeah.
looking at today's game, Chilwell and João Felix, could you see something bubbling there?
Yeah, Chilwell and Felix were linking up really well today. With Felix sort of playing those intricate passes into Chilwell, getting those deliveries in. Chilwell sometimes coming in, Felix going out wide. They both had an understanding, so I could see that sort of. I think there's the bones for a partnership there if we continue with this sort of back three formation. And like you say about sort of connections, I think definitely the back three have a good understanding of where to be at times as well. They're all comfortable, say, being drifted out wide or coming into the center as well. So I think they all speak French as well, so that's helpful as well. Koulibaly is obviously Senegalese, but I think he can speak French as well. So there's
Mm.
that as well. Then you got, but I think the key thing is we build that sort of a connection in the midfield in a way with Enzo. Like, who's the best sort of partner for Enzo? Whether that's Kovacic, who I thought did well today, but can get exposed at times as well. And I don't think he's the same player. And compared to what he was, he's very injury prone now. And he's definitely one name I'd probably want to sell in the summer if we can get some sort of value for him. Um, then you've got obviously Dennis Zakaria in that position. You've got as well. You've got Ruben who can play there as well. On paper, in my opinion, I think Enzo and Zakaria is the best that we've got at the moment. Um, but yeah, I think as long as we solidify the spine of our team and build those sort of relationships, then I think we can definitely hopefully we should see some better results.
Cool, man. Listen, good to hear from you. I want to get your views on Arsenal and Man City now.
Yeah,
Obviously, as
let's
a
do it, man.
football fan that watches football, like we all do all the time, what's your take on the title race, man? Are you back in Arsenal or are you back in Chelsea, mate?
Oh, Chelsea? Nah.
Sorry, flipping it.
City.
Got you dreaming there for a bit, man.
I was, I was,
What's he on
I was
about,
wondering if you're
mate?
trying to catch me out there for a second. I was
What
like,
season is he
what?
on, mate?
Chelsea?
Just checking your
Yeah.
weight, man. Just checking your weight, D man. So title race, yeah, with a capital T, man.
Yeah.
Arsenal or Man City for you, mate, as it
Um,
stands.
I, I've always gone with Man City from the start of the season. I thought City would win the league, and I still backed them to win the league. Even at not at their best, they could still sort of pluck out results, which they've sort of done today. I thought they were okay today; they're better than usual. But we like it's scary that we haven't seen the best sort of Manchester City this season, and I truly think that they can push on for the title now. And having beaten Arsenal at home, I think that's a massive boost psychologically as well. Having beaten them twice, obviously in the FA Cup as well as the league, and Manchester City, man, they're built differently, man. Every position, like on the pitch, they're stacked in that area, and they've got quality and depth in those positions. So yeah, I fully expect City to kick on and win the league at least. The Champions League, however, that's a big question mark, I think, on Man City.
Yeah. Ricky's our Man City
Yeah,
resident pundit, and Ricky's come on and said, "I'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League," which is understandable because without sounding cocky, they've got a lot of Premier League titles and they haven't got a Champions League title. So
yeah,
obviously, you'd want that full set, and you'd want a night out in Europe, and you'd want Pep to sort of finish that legacy with greatness. Nothing else you could have done then. You'd probably go down as along with Fergie You know, he'd be on that level if he wins the Champions League. But
Mm,
they're in a title race. They've got Champions League games coming up. There was a 1-1, wasn't it? No, it wasn't.
Leipzig, yeah.
Was it 1-1 away? Yeah, Leipzig away. So they got the home tie. So you'd expect City to go through. And then as they get into the quarters and they get into the semis, then Man City may take their eye off the Premier League. Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think they've got a big enough squad to maintain winning in the league, make that 5 point gap, whilst going deeper into that competition? Because a lot of City fans are saying as we get deeper, we will naturally just not have the legs and the first 11 to do it on the weekend as well.
Yeah, but we're forgetting as well then the FA Cup as well. They've got, I can't remember who
Yeah,
they played in the FA Cup, but they've
we've
got the
got a
FA
home
Cup to
match.
play as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So there's that as well that people have to sort of factor in. And I think it's not a question of sort of the big enough of the squad. I think it's the quality of the squad as well. I definitely think the quality of the squad sort of regressed compared to other seasons, but I still think that like in sort of every position they got cover in that way where the standards the same as it would be in sort of like a starting position. So if you look at say the midfield, for example, if you're not playing Gundogan, you've got Bernardo Silva there. If you're not playing De Bruyne, you can put yeah, but you can put either Gundogan or Bernardo Silva for them as well. I think would equally do a good job there. So there's that as well. You got it's the Roger, you got
Got
Calvin Phillips.
Phillips.
So
Yeah.
then Diaz, Laporte, Akanji, Stones. You got as well Kyle Walker, and then the front line is just ridiculous. You got Mahrez, Alvarez as well, very underrated as well. Like so, you've literally got the best two strikers in the league, man. It's
It
crazy.
is crazy,
But
man. Best wingers,
but
best
yeah,
strikers, you know, best keeper, you
best
could
everything.
argue.
Well, the
Yeah.
best team in England. So
Yeah,
um,
probably playing the best football up there with Arsenal. So where do you see Arsenal dropping points? Because you've mentioned City to win it.
mm,
So you expect Arsenal to drop 5 points. Are three of those points away to City?
yeah, 100. Yeah, definitely. I think they'll drop points to City. I think got a feeling they'll lose at Anfield as well. I think they'll drop points at Anfield as well. And then there'll be unexpected games where they drop points. Let's say like nobody expected them to sort of drop points against Everton, so I can see them dropping points against say maybe Brighton at home. They still got to play. I believe they still got to go to Fulham as well, which will be tough. Then yeah, you've literally got the fixtures up, bro. And then literally they've got Europa
Mm.
League to focus on as well. So and I just don't think they have the quality of the squad to compete with City, and I think they'll definitely falter. Like I think that game against Liverpool is key. I think if they can get through that game, um, then we'll see. But I still back Manchester City to win the league, but at least like
Wow.
more than 5 points at least.
Arsenal fans watching this, let us know in the comments what you think of D's prediction there. He's backing Man City to beat you to the title. He's backing Man City to do you at the Etihad. He's backing Liverpool to do you at Anfield. And he's also said there's a few teams that are struggling there down the bottom that might give you a game like
Yeah,
Bournemouth did today. And to be fair to your point, Bournemouth did. They lost the game and they were 2-0 up. But on the stats and on the play, the 85% possession, the amount of chances Arsenal created, it was a matter of time before Arsenal would score. So you'd argue Bournemouth were in a false position with those two goals. They basically finished two chances. Is that going to happen every game where Arsenal just miss everything? Probably not. So Arsenal fans would argue today's result is not, it's not going to keep happening. Generally, we're gonna finish those chances in the first half, and we won't be 2-0 down at halftime. But others would argue that the Premier League is quite cruel in that sense, and teams can sit back, get two chances, score two goals, and win, and literally just sit back the whole game, and you can have as much possession as you want. You can have all the chances in the world, and teams will do that against Arsenal now. So Arsenal looking a little
Also,
bit
if we
shaky.
get if we get a new manager by the time we play Arsenal, I'm praying we get a result against Arsenal
All right,
by
listen, if
April, man.
Chelsea finish below
We have to
Spurs,
end that
if
title
you
charge,
if
man.
you finish below us and you beat Arsenal, I'm happy, mate. I'm happy, mate, because
Well,
I've
we'll
got to
definitely
look at.
finish below you for sure. For
Well, I
sure,
don't know, man.
we're
You're talking to
100%.
us. You're talking to a Tottenham fan, mate. This club
No,
will
honestly, man. Like,
generally let you down. Tottenham will generally let you down, man. Generally let you down, man. I'm telling you, it's all over the place at Spurs. Let's talk about Tottenham then. Let's move to Spurs. So,
yeah, let's go to
you
Spurs,
know,
man. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, Tottenham and Chelsea, massive rivalry at the Bridge. Um, London derby. The fans hate each other. You come to Tottenham every time you win. It's known as 3 Point Lane. We've had lot of a lot of hatred between Chelsea and Tottenham over the years. Tottenham doing you for the first time at the new stadium last weekend. We beat you 2-0. Um, and deserve to beat you 2-0. Do you look at Spurs as a top four club? Do you think Spurs will finish fourth, or do you think Spurs will finish top six? Do you think they'll fall away now? What's your prediction on Tottenham?
Yeah, my prediction on Tottenham this season has always been top four. I've always backed you guys to get fourth, to be honest, and I've said I said from the moment I think once we got back from sort of the World Cup, I said the top four would be City, Arsenal, United, and Spurs. I'm still sticking with that. I think with the firepower you've got up front, I think that will get you over the line more than anything. And sort of I think the midfield as well. I feel like you've got a decent midfield as
Got a
well.
lot of injuries though.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. I thought Oliver
Mm,
Skip was really
yeah,
good as well. Against Chelsea, he did quite well. Christian Romero, you know how good he is as well. As
quality.
sort of as well as a Spurs fan, you probably know yourself how good he is and
Yeah,
stuff. Like,
quality, quality.
You got Christian Romero. You got I know Lloris has regressed a lot. He hasn't been good, but you got that sort of experience there as well. But yeah, I've always said Tottenham will get fourth.
So
From
you
sort of the
sticking by
start of the
that? You
season.
don't think
Yeah,
Liverpool
yeah.
will do it this
I still
season?
think Spurs.
You don't think
No,
Liverpool? No.
I think no. I honestly think um the sort of
I
final
like you,
decider
D.
will be
You're
the
a
game
good
against
guest, man.
us.
You're a good guest, mate. I like you, man. You're good, man. You definitely can come back on, mate. Honestly, you're picking up Spurs. We've just lost 1-0. We're 1-0 down to AC Milan in two legs. We're crap on the road. We've got
Yeah.
a shocking defense half the time. When Romero's not there, it's just mate, it's comedy. We've got Bentancur out, who's our best creative midfielder, who creates
Mm.
chances. We've got Skip, who's an academy product playing in there. Yves Basumas is injured. Our captain Hugo Lloris is out, and you're backing us for top four. Respect you, bruv. Respect you, man.
No, honestly, I still think you've obviously got players like Kulusevski. I think is really good as well. You got Harry Kane just is class. Like I wish we could get Harry Kane. Honestly, he's probably like the one player who'd be perfect for our team. But I know in a million years it won't happen. Like it just won't happen.
You never know, mate.
Like ever. No, no, not never know, bro. It won't.
I
It just
think
won't
lack of
happen. It
Champions
won't.
League is going to be the reason he wouldn't go Chelsea. Like not the only
Oh
reason, but I
yeah,
think if
yeah.
you had Champions League and Spurs didn't, he could go Chelsea. He'd piss off the fans, trust me, and his whole legacy
I
would
don't
be
think so, bro. I honestly think he probably loves Tottenham a bit too much. I think, and obviously it's his home. So, the only
yeah,
sort of place I see him going is maybe
United,
Manchester United
Manchester
if they
United.
cough up the money, and I think he'll take
Yeah,
them to the title
but
if
you
that
you
happens.
just
But
think with United with the way they're playing with Rashford, would they want to have a Harry Kane?
oh yeah,
Would they
because
want the
Weghorst is
pressure
playing
of
in that
playing
position
Kane?
now, isn't he? So
Yeah, would they want
yeah,
that?
I think
He's not quick. Kane's not quick. Do Man
his
United
passing, his dribbling's really good. His shooting's really
passing
good
his
as well. He's
dribbling's
a
good?
leader.
Yeah, but
But I think
I
with
just think
Spurs,
with
man, like
Rashford, with Rashford there, I just don't think Man United would want to rock the boat. They might want a younger
mm,
protege to Rashford. But saying
maybe
that, if
yeah,
Kane, I was gonna say, saying that if Kane goes to Man United and he wins the Premier League title or he wins a trophy, then for him in his career, he's achieved, what he set out to achieve. The only
yeah.
thing is, can he beat Alan Shearer's record at a Manchester United where he's not going to start every game? I think that's the question for Harry Kane is, do I want Alan Shearer's record or do I want a trophy? Because if you want a trophy, go to Man United, go to most of these top clubs and you've got a better chance than Tottenham. However, if you want to personally achieve that Alan Shearer all-time goal scorer record in the Premier League, I don't think there's a better place than Tottenham because you'll get the minutes.
Mm. Yeah,
Do you
I
know what I
still
mean?
think he'll start for Man United. Like, regardless, I think he'll play most of the games. But I think from the Spurs, but like from maybe your perspective, it must be gutting going out the cups because
Mate,
I
it's
can
been a
like
shit
if
week.
like without winning trophies, I'm really funny, but like to sort of like not put any sort of effort into these trophies, I think it's bizarre to be
Mate,
honest.
do you know what it was, right? When we went out, when we put that team out against Sheffield United are flying in the championship. They're probably going to come up, yeah? They're not a joke. They're not Sheffield United mid-table championship. They are going to come
Yeah.
up to the Premier League. So to put out a team away at that stadium, which is in your face, noisy, midweek game, under the lights, the fans, everything was there, right?
Mm,
Going for Sheffield United to then put out a team where Romero's not in it, right? And putting Sanchez and Dyer, right? And then messing around. Like, I would have gone with the full team. I would have gone with the full team and stayed in the competition. The only two big teams in that competition are Man United and Man City. You could say Brighton as well, because
Mm.
Brighton is still in it. But for me, the team selection was wrong. And then obviously the players look a bit disjointed. And you almost rely on your first 11. Your biggest games, you always play your first 11. Most managers play their best 11 in the biggest games. That's just standard, right? You don't experiment too much. Maybe Pep's experimented in the past against Chelsea in that final when you won the Champions League.
Yeah.
But generally, you don't piss about in your big games. And I just think Stellini, Conte,
Mm.
someone that the club put that team out with one eye on Wolves. But now we've lost to Wolves and we lost to Sheffield United. It's all created a bit of a negative momentum now. So staying in the cup would have given us hype going into this
Mm.
weekend because we would have been like, yes, we're in the FA Cup. And Tottenham have won the FA Cup 8 times. I think joint fourth in the history of football. So going into this weekend, the tails would have been up. And that could have transferred onto the pitch today. But going into the weekend with a loss, coming out the FA Cup, put pressure on the players to get a win today, right? Because you lost. So sometimes it's not about legs. Sometimes it's not about, oh, well, we can beat Sheffield United with Richarlison or whoever, Kane not starting. Sometimes it's about momentum. Momentum took Liverpool so far
Mm.
last year. And momentum in football is more important than they're going to be tired. I'm not into that whole they're going to be tired. It's the FA Cup. Win it, stay in it, and we would have had Blackburn, bruv. We would have had Blackburn in the draw. Do you know what I mean? And what it does, winning creates a big win, and it would have been a big win away to Sheffield United in the FA Cup. Winning creates a positive environment the next day. Everyone comes to work more excited. Tomorrow, the Chelsea boys and the Chelsea fans are going to get pissed tonight because that pint is long overdue. You're going to have 6 pints in a row tonight because this thing's been like,
Oh
not even six, man. I don't even know when you last won, mate. That's how bad it is. I think it's 2 in 14 or whatever it was going into this result, wasn't it? Was it 2 in 13?
no, it was 2 in 17, 2 in 17,
Two
and
in
it's three now.
17 games.
Now it's 3 in 17. Obviously,
Now it's
three in
three in
18 now.
18.
Sorry,
Three
yeah,
in
something like
18.
that. Yeah,
So I'm
that's what I'm
as a
saying. Chelsea fans, don't get too excited, man. Don't get too excited.
but what I'm saying is you've won. You're now looking forward to Dortmund. It's different. If we'd beat Sheffield United, we'd be looking forward to Wolves. You're going to go, come on, let's have it. But the team went there today off the back of a loss, and that's my problem with that selection, with that result on Wednesday. Was the selection wasn't good enough for me. And
Yeah, I want to
Stellini,
ask. I
Conte.
just want to ask you a question. Like, with regards to Conte, then say he does get the sack, or say he does go, who would you actually? It's a bit of a stupid question. You're going to say
Mm.
Pochettino, aren't you? For the
No,
next
it's not a
manager, or
stupid question because Poch. The thing with Poch is we need a manager that, because Spurs don't spend huge amounts, and I'm not saying we don't spend it because we don't have it. I'm sure there's more money there. But Daniel Levy runs a very tight ship. So because he runs a very tight ship, you can't have a trophy manager come in because he's going to ask for trophy signings or Champions League material to win the big prizes, because that's where Man City sit at the head table with them trophies. That's where Chelsea have been sitting up until recent. That's where Liverpool sit. So for us to sit with those guys, we need to bring in a manager that's going to win instantly. Conte was the man. But we then need to spend the money those teams spend for those sort of managers. Now, Tottenham have spent money. It's not like we haven't spent money. So any Spurs fan says we haven't spent money is wrong. But when it comes to our wage policy, it's like
Mhm.
the 150 grand mark. It's kind of where we would max out at with most players, or 100k. So you could spend millions, but those millions bring in cheaper wage players. So it looks like you spent a lot because you said, "Oh, I spent 200 million or whatever it was," but I brought in loads of 100k a weekers or 80k a weekers, and then you could
Mhm.
say I spent 200 million and I brought in 200 grand a weekers, and that's the difference between quality spending and just spending. And Pochettino would come in and he wouldn't really knock upstairs to Levy and say, "I want X, Y, Z," because Pochettino doesn't really have the CV for it, but he's just not going to do that because I feel like Pochettino wants a home. He doesn't want 3 years. He doesn't want 2 years. He wants a 5, 6, 7 year. He wants to be like Klopp and Pep.
He wants
You
that
know, and
comfort,
us,
doesn't he? Yeah.
he wants a home. He doesn't want to go 3 years. Conte might be happy to go Inter, Juve, Chelsea, Tottenham, and whoever's next. Mourinho was happy to do it. Pochettino's not that kind of guy. Pochettino wants a home and he wants to do a
Yeah.
project and he wants to work with the board. So he's actually perfect for Tottenham. But fans would also argue he's not perfect because he's not going to knock upstairs like Conte and say, "Where's the money?" or "I want X, Y, Z." So for Levy, he's perfect. But for a lot of the fans, Pochettino's like a pen pusher. If you know, what do you call it? Not even a pen pusher. What do you call it? He's just going to listen. He's just going to listen. Yeah, he's not going
He's
to
a yes
push.
man, basically.
He's a
Yeah.
yes man. He's not going to push. He's not going to push upstairs hard. He's not going to say, "I want A, B, C, D, F, G." So whilst Pochettino is good for Spurs at the moment, um, I think Tottenham needs someone who's going to come in and play attractive football because the Conte football, it's it's up and down. Like today, we flew out the traps. We had an amazing first half. I'm watching that first half thinking we're going to beat these lot 2-3-0. It was just a matter of time.
Mm.
But then Lopetegui, or however you say his name, changed it
Yeah.
tactically. He went three at the back. He brought on Jimenez because Costa got injured, and he changed the
Mm.
game. He changed the game. I was waiting for Stellini's response to that domination in the second half from Wolves, but Stellini didn't change it. He just kept the same players on and was pretty much the same tactics. And this is
I think that
where
just shows Conte as well. I've obviously he was manager of Chelsea, and I know for a fact that he's really stubborn with his ways. Like
stubborn.
he will never change. He'll never change his ways. He might bring on a few like for like subs, but he'll never revert to say like an extra man in midfield. He'll never revert to having an extra forward on the pitch. He'll never take risks. He'll always sort of go with his game plan in a way. But yeah,
Yeah. And adaptability, making crazy changes. 50 minutes. We've seen Jose sub a sub. You know, we've seen Alex Ferguson do it at halftime. You want almost Tottenham in that 65th minute, 60th minute to change the game. The earners should be on us to change the game, not to get a point away to Wolves and just see this game out. It should be we're Spurs, we're the bigger club. We've got bigger ambitions than you Wolves, top four. I didn't see that from Stellini, man. Richarlison, Danjuma, Lucas Moura was used, but tactically speaking, Lopetegui done a job on Tottenham. And the other thing where Tottenham fell today is I felt we just run out of a bit of energy as well. Wolves grew into that game and we grew out that game. So yes, I blame the tactics. We didn't respond. Not enough refreshing off the bench, leaving the same players on there. Sonny did have a good game today, to be fair to him. So dropping Kane back, that's always an option. We should use that more, and have runners going in and around him. Wolves were doubling up on Kane and wasn't getting enough space today, really. So when you've got players like Kane and Sonny and Richarlison, you've got to find a way to win. You've just got to find a way to win. That's like, a couple of £100 million worth of talent there.
yeah,
300
definitely.
million quid worth of talent. Wolves don't have that. They have Jimenez, who's been injured on and off. So I put that result on Stellini, on tactics. And obviously you have to blame the players because they're the ones on the pitch. Players never really get away with it. When they win, we credit them. When they lose, we must pull them out as well. And the players, the legs, did they give enough energy? I think they did, but they looked lost. So yeah, it was just a combination of those factors, mate. But going back to your answer, I think Poch would be the obvious choice. But I just think we need a project manager now because unless the club's got 250 million to spend this summer on 200k a weekers,
Yeah,
then it's not going to work, mate. 200 million on 100k a weekers is a scattergun approach. You're just hoping, the Gareth Bale money. You're kind of just hoping
that's
out.
our transfer window we had just now in the
Yeah,
summer. In the summer, yeah, we were
yeah,
just scattergunning for
yeah,
random players, basically.
yeah. This is the problem. Whereas Liverpool went and got Alisson, Van Dijk, proven players in proven positions from the Premier League.
I think it's more
Arsenal,
the profile as well, the profile player as well. That's the main
yeah,
thing. As long as they suit the system and suit what you want to do, I think that makes a big difference instead of like having those sort of quality players where they've done well in leagues. Like Chelsea's a prime example. We've seen how sort of well Koulibaly's done for Napoli over the years. We've seen how Raheem Sterling's done well for Man City. We've seen Cucurella done well for Brighton as well. But it's more about the profile, in my opinion. Like if you don't have the profile there in that player, then it's just not going to work. It's for
but
example,
then
like,
that comes with
you're not going to sign like Lukaku. Like you like for example, Jurgen Klopp's not going to sign someone like Romelu Lukaku because is completely different to how Jurgen Klopp sets out his team, sets what
But
he
this is
wants
what I'm
from like
saying.
his
Isn't this
centre forward. Yeah,
this is why having that manager's philosophy instilled before you buy is important,
yeah,
because then you're all on the same
100%.
page.
Yeah,
This is it, isn't it? This is the big
definitely.
question mark with Potter. We don't know his philosophy. Chelsea fans don't know his philosophy. He's not even secure in that job. So to then go into the summer window with a manager that you almost think to yourself, what's the point in buying players for this manager if he's not showing us enough? But then the other argument is let him spend it his way, and then he can build that philosophy. There's always that argument of, do you go with the manager, or do you say no, we'll buy what we think is quality and the manager can adapt to what we buy? And we've seen
Yeah,
Pep's Man City is a clear example of doing it the manager's way. Arteta, I think, is a clear example of them doing it Arteta's way. Um, and then other clubs like Chelsea seem to be doing a bit like Tottenham, just buying players and hoping they work out. Pedro Porro had a good game today, in fairness to him. So it was good to see him after his 40 million signing to come in and perform. He's had a shocker since he come to the club.
do you think you'll go through
Um,
against Milan or
do I think we'll go through against Milan? See Tottenham, we lose and win. So I'm going to say a win, because that's what we
fair
do.
enough?
Tottenham lose and win. That's what we do. And when we win more than lose, we get top four. Otherwise, we don't. It's as simple as that. We never
If you
really.
do go out the Champions League, though, say if you do go out on Wednesday, it's going to be a disastrous week because you're out of two cup competitions.
That's
You're
it, man.
almost
That's it.
clinging for top four. But yeah, I
Yeah.
personally think that, unfortunately for you, I think you go out on Wednesday to AC Milan. I think.
Yeah. I'm just hoping
Um,
the players stand up to the occasion, and
yeah, I mean, you
they.
never know. You might turn up and thrash Milan. Who knows? Like,
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping they turn up with, obviously a 60K midweek game, Champions League. It might be the last time they hear that music. So I'm hoping that they turn up um, and do 2-1. 2-1 is what I'd go for a prediction. That's probably me going with
fair
my
enough.
heart,
Yeah.
mate. That's probably me going
Mm.
my heart. AC are a decent team. They know what they're doing, and they'll create chances. It'll be a very close game. No one's going to walk that 90 minutes.
Mm.
Let's talk about Man United as well, mate. What are you making of United? Because with Arsenal winning today, if United lose or don't win to Liverpool, is that title race done then? Do you think all the conversations about United being in a title race is done if they don't win tomorrow?
I never thought they were in the title race, to be honest with you, unless Arsenal and Man City both drop points consistently for say 2 weeks, which hasn't happened. So, yeah, I think they're just quietly going about the business in terms of solidifying top four. I think their priority is probably more the cup competitions, where um, obviously they secured the Carabao Cup last week. They beat Barcelona as well. It was a great week from their perspective, really good week. So yeah, but honestly, I don't think they're in the title race. If I'm being honest, it's just more about focusing on winning trophies this season for them, like the Europa League. You've got the FA Cup they're still in as well, so they want to finish the season strongly. And yeah, they'll go on in the summer. Hopefully for their perspective, for United fans, they get the new owners in. Obviously, us as rival fans, we don't want that to happen. We want the Glazers to stay, but um, I think the main thing for them is getting those owners in. Once they get those owners in, once Ten Hag gets backed again properly with players like he wants, then yeah, they'll look a force next season, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, Ten Hag's smashing it. Ten Hag's smashing it. I mean, looking at these fixtures, the quad is on for United if they're in a title race, but you're saying they're not. Do you think that United will win and pick up the Europa League as well? Because you're saying they're going to do top four. You're saying they're not going to win the title. That's fine. So they're going to finish third, from what you're saying.
Mm,
So
yeah.
United are going to finish third. Do you think the Europa League um, is going to Manchester?
On paper, they're probably the favourites, given Arsenal in the title race. They're probably more prioritised on the league than Europa League, if I'm being honest. So on paper, it should be Man United, but we can't forget teams like Juventus are still in it, Roma are still in it as well, I believe. Those are the main two. I think there's a couple of others as well that I've probably forgotten about, but they've obviously got your Arsenal as well. So and you got Leverkusen as well. They're having a decent season as well. They're doing pretty good. So yeah, I think for them, they're like I said, their priorities probably the cup competitions, the FA Cup and Europa League. So yeah, and
Mm.
then looking at those fixtures as well, I think Liverpool away is always going to be sort of a tough game. But given how Liverpool have sort of been, for the past few weeks and stuff. I think they'll end up winning at Anfield. I know it's been a long time for them, so and yeah, records are there to be broken, I guess. And then yeah, they've got Betis. They should get through Betis easily. Southampton, the worst team of the league, they should breeze past them easily. But
Mm.
yeah, if you're a Man United fan, it's exciting times for them. So yeah,
It is. It's a year of cups, isn't it? The League Cup, the FA Cup, and the Europa
it's
League,
kind of like
man.
our
So
season, last season, where or kind of Liverpool season, where the only difference is Liverpool actually sort of contending for the title head to head with Man City, and they're literally going for everything. And like sort of us as well in a way where we are like unluckily lost both finals in a way, and then we sort of convert like solidified top four in a way. So yeah,
mm.
but I think they're doing a better job of it than us, to be honest. But yeah,
Everyone's doing a better job than Chelsea at the moment, innit? But you got to win. You got to win, mate. So you can enjoy your weekend and you can look forward to Tuesday. Is it Dortmund?
yeah, Tuesday, yeah, big game on Tuesday,
Tuesday.
massive.
Okay, at home.
Yeah, hope to Dortmund. Obviously, 1-0, 1-0 down in the leg. I don't know where we're scoring two goals from, given the fact we've only scored about, I don't know how many, like two goals in the last month. So, yeah, we
Do you
have to
think you
see.
should
You
just
never
go
know.
with this team then? Do you think? I mean, Reece James is going to be back.
I'm not sure, to be honest. I think we'll have to find out more from Potter on, say, Monday or Tuesday. I think Monday does his press conference for the game. So, we'll know more then. But I don't expect him to play the full game. I think if he does play, he'll maybe come on as a sub. But um, stick with the same team, maybe not. But Badia Shile can't obviously play because he's not registered, so we'll probably revert back to the back four if I'm being honest, with Koulibaly, Fofana. And then I don't even know who plays right back, to be honest. So we might actually stick with the back five. We might play Chalobah right centre back, and then it could be Ruben again right wing back. Left wing back will probably be Chilwell again. Then midfield will probably be Enzo and Enzo and Cover probably again. And then the front three will probably change. I think it'll be Mudryk, Havertz, and probably Sterling. I think that's the front three.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll see. And
Changes,
then
more changes for Chelsea, man. It's a shame you can't play that same 11. Like you said, you've got
yeah,
um injuries, you've got suspensions. Who's suspended then for Tuesday?
I don't think we've got any
Who's
suspensions,
got a
but it's just players
suspension?
that can't play.
Oh, they're
Oh,
just not.
Mason. Sorry, I think Mason Mount's suspended, but
Yeah,
he's
Mason
injured
Mount.
anyway, so he
Yeah,
can't. He's injured anyway, so he can't really play. But yeah, I think it's more the fact that that Badiashile is not registered. Madueke's not registered either to play. Sorry, I forgot about Jao Felix. Yeah, Jao Felix will definitely start on Tuesday for sure. Um, yeah, it will probably. Yeah, it might even be the same front three. Jao Felix,
you got a
Havertz, and probably
Fofana up
Sterling
front.
to
Is
be
he
honest.
registered?
No.
Okay,
I don't
so
think so. Anyway, yeah,
yeah, we'll see what
because I
happens.
think
Maybe
we're
we'll
only
see what
allowed to
happens.
register three players, I believe. So I think we end up registering Mudryk,
Which
Felix,
was
and it was one
Enzo.
more. Enzo, that's it. Yeah,
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 Enzo, Felix, and Mudryk. All your big players, isn't it? All
yeah.
your big signings.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
Mudryk
yeah,
might
we'll see,
start. You
man.
never know. Mudryk might start.
Yeah, it might start. Yeah. You never know, man. Could be anyone. Honestly, I
Yeah,
know Jao Felix will definitely. He definitely has to start for sure.
yeah.
He's one of our better players. Him and Enzo have just like sort of elevated their individual performances. But yeah, we'll see, man.
Yeah, and if you lose, it might be Potter out, mate. It might be Potter out, mate, because then you've got nothing in it. You're out the Champions League,
Nothing to
your
play
Premier
for.
League,
Yeah.
Your Premier Leagues. I don't think it's done, D. I don't think it's done. And I said this about Liverpool 3 weeks ago. I said, watch,
Mm,
Liverpool will be in that top four race, and I'm worried about them. This is when Newcastle were above us, and we were in fifth. And I said, guys, watch out for Liverpool. I actually think tomorrow Liverpool will get a draw. I know that sounds
interesting.
crazy. I know that sounds crazy.
No, it's not crazy to be fair. Like you never know Anfield, man. Anfield's just like it's just next level in terms of like, regardless of how crap Liverpool have been, like you can always sort of like rely on them to
For
sort of
me,
turn
it's
up.
that
Like they beat Man
midfield.
City at the start of the season, so yeah, I
It's
don't
that
know.
midfield, right? If he plays the legs in there, then I think without Milner and Hendo as a pair, for me, Liverpool look a lot better because they've got a bit more bite. You can't be putting an average age of 36, 37 in midfield. I
Yeah,
know Thiago, certain players can come in and dictate the game, but as long as you have a couple of real hungry players on each side, for me, the youngster goes in, Elliot, Bastagia, whatever his name is, the guy on the right,
Yeah.
and then to the
Spanish guy,
left of
yeah.
him, the Spanish guy on the left of him, you could play. He's got a few options there. He played those two in that win, um, in midweek, didn't he? He played against Wolves. He dropped
I can't
Hendo.
remember actually.
He dropped Hendo, I believe, and he
Is it
dropped
Fabinho that
Milner.
played? I think it
I
was
think it was, yeah,
Fabinho.
exactly, yeah, it was Fabinho. So those three in there, if he starts them against Man United, I think Liverpool have a chance of getting a draw. If he starts Hendo and Milner, I don't believe they'll win or get a draw.
Mm,
I just think those two are not good enough anymore. I don't think Hendo and I don't think Milner's good enough anymore.
mm.
Maybe 60 minutes, maybe 60 minutes. But you've got to pull them off. And Liverpool have enough firepower forward wise in terms of scoring goals, but they don't have creativity and enough legs in midfield. Um, what's your view on Liverpool this season? So they're not getting fourth because you put Tottenham in for fourth. Are you putting them top six?
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll finish above Newcastle. I think they'll finish fifth, and I believe Newcastle will get sixth place. I think they will finish Europa League. But yeah, for them, it's more of a transition season for them, where they obviously lost Sadio Mane. They've had quite a lot of injuries as well, which hasn't helped them at all. They haven't really got that spine in the team. Van Dijk's not looked the same, to be honest, since his ACL injury. And yeah, they're conceding goals, and I think Klopp's a little bit stubborn in the way where he persists with playing this high line, and a lot of teams are exploiting that. And yeah, Cody Gakpo's done all right. Like sort of previous games, past few previous games, they've got. I believe they got Jota back as well. I think Diaz is back soon as well. Nunez is done all right as well, I guess, in his first season. But yeah,
Start scoring, any?
yeah, he started scoring as well, starting to create a bit as well. But yeah, I think with Liverpool, I think there's some sort of a similar boat to United where they want to get the ownership stuff sorted, whether that's if FSG stay or not, if they get I think Qataris as well, I believe they're in for as well. If the owners sort of back Klopp and they get the signings that they want. I know Mason Mount's been heavily linked with Liverpool. Jude Bellingham's been linked with Liverpool as well. A couple other players like Caicedo, I believe, has been linked with them as well. But obviously with the contract signing as well, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, a lot of people saying Liverpool might be back next season. I think it depends on who they sign um, in the summer, I think, because they're definitely reinforcements in midfield and maybe the fullback areas as well. So yeah,
Well, the club's
Liverpool's
looking for investment, aren't they? The club came out and said, um, whatever his name is, Henry or whatever, John Henry or whatever his name is, he
John
came out and
Henry.
said,
Yeah.
yeah, we want investment. We don't want to necessarily sell the club. We want investment, which shows they see Liverpool as a bigger sale in the future and they want to hold on to that value. They're not ready just yet to sell Liverpool.
Yeah, which will
Um,
annoy a lot of Liverpool fans.
which will annoy a lot of Liverpool fans because a lot of Liverpool fans were celebrating in January, thinking, yes,
Yeah,
finally we've got rid of them. But these owners just play games, don't they? They just
they get the profits, aren't they? As long as they get money, that's it. Like they got their FA Cup sort of money from last season, they got the Carabao Cup money, Champions League final money. They'll get maybe European money from this season as well. So yeah, for them, it's if they finish fourth, I think their owners will be happy with that. Obviously, the fans won't be happy with that, but yeah.
you must be looking at Man United, Chelsea, or Chelsea fan looking at United and Liverpool and just hoping it stays as it is because if they did get the financial injection this summer, then it's going to affect Chelsea's chances, isn't it, of winning a league?
Oh yeah, yeah. Not just us. I think it'll impact everyone. To be honest, like even the ones say at the top, even Arsenal. We've seen how the dispute with the owners that they have as well with Stan Kroenke. There are a lot of Arsenal fans not happy with Kroenke, but yeah, I think with the Newcastle owners coming in as well, I think that's shaking a lot of things up as well. So with another say owner coming in, new owner with a lot of money, it'll be scary, man.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. I think the Premier League's never been under so much financial attention, and it's just going from levels. It's just going to levels. We outspend all the other leagues, and the amount of money that's going to come into the Premier League is just going to allow clubs to spend even more. So if you think you've
Yeah, hundred
seen,
percent.
yeah, if you think you've seen your club spend 500 and think, yeah, wicked, 500 million or 600 or 300 or whatever, I think we're going to get to a point where um, something's going to have to be done about football. Something's going to have to be done about the Premier League because I think regulators are being spoken about,
Mm.
independent regulators, to put some sort of caps in place so that basically the Premier League just doesn't fly off and just become this Super League, which you could argue already is, and leave all the other clubs behind. So we'll see what happens with money in football, man. And that's a big topic at the moment. I'm definitely going to line up a show on how
Mm.
the Premier League should manage international investment and how clubs should maybe have some links to capping their spending based on whether it's performance, based on revenue, based on an FFP. There's a little bit of that. It does cap your expenditure based on revenue, but there's still too many loopholes in the game, and there's too many
Yeah,
ways to
no,
get around it.
100%, man.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be doing that. But listen, I just want to say thanks to you for coming on, mate. You're
Yeah,
welcome
big up, bro.
anytime. Anyone who wants to catch you on Twitter and any socials, go ahead and let us know your
Yeah,
handles.
so yeah, my yeah, Instagram's so Dharmesh 2610 underscore underscore. Then my Twitter is Dealing 93. If you want to give me a follow on that as well.
Wicked. Listen, go
Yeah.
and follow Dharmz online. There you go. I can see you've got
Yeah,
something
my,
there.
yeah, oh, yeah. I forgot my Twitter things there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
have a
down
look
there.
there. There you
It's
go. Yeah,
down there
there
to
you go.
that
Yeah,
side. Go and
yeah,
add him, please. Thanks for coming on, mate. Big debut. Chelsea fan, happy. 3 points. We'll see you definitely on another show. As for everyone else, we've got a massive show Sunday, tomorrow. So today being Saturday, tomorrow in 24 hours, Sunday, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. We've got 6 guests in the house. We've got a City fan, we've got a United fan, Chelsea and Tottenham, Arsenal, all debating the weekend's results. I'm going to be there representing. We lost 1-0. Chelsea won 1-0. So the tables are turning slightly in London right now. Arsenal keeping that title race just going in any way, shape, or form. They got the 3 points, but we'll talk about Arsenal as well. And obviously, Man City, they're at the top, challenging for the title. Ricky will be on to talk about his team's performance, and Man United as well there with G coming on every week to discuss if Man United are in a title race or not. We'll let you have the final say on that. Do leave us a comment. In the meantime, give us a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock Sunday, Big Six debate. For now, peace out, love and unity. Thank you to everyone, and thank you, D.